Hey love bugs, happy September. Well, we're halfway through almost, but I wanted to check in and just kind of give you guys some tips and intentions that have really helped me this month. Before I really begin any month, I do a reflection and figure out what was really working for me and what wasn't. And last month I was super busy and I enjoyed it all, but I really got hooked by my perfectionism, my need to be a certain way, to prove, to gain approval, to gain love, whatever. And I totally neglected my self-care practices. And so this month is all about releasing perfectionism and really taking ownership of my body and my health and prioritizing that number one. So I'm about to go to yoga. I've been going to bed by 10:30 every night, which is still later than I would like, but it's a work in progress kind of thing, because that's like fundamental level. Meeting our basic needs is really how we show up in the world for others and for ourselves. So starting there and just letting the intention be to show up for yourselves and take care of yourselves in a way that we may not have done recently. And so part of my practice is I do the Course in Miracles, and I was reading a line and they say, "Let us therefore be determined, particularly for the next week or so, to be willing to forgive ourselves for our lapses in diligence and our failures to follow instructions for practicing the day's idea. When we fail to comply with the requirements of this course, you've merely made a mistake that calls for a correction and nothing else, aka not blame, not shame, not judgment, just acknowledging the mistake and allowing it to be so it can be forgiven and corrected." So I read that and I was like, this isn't only about the Course in Miracles, it's actually about a course in life. How can we bring this idea of just recognizing a mistake or an imperfection, because we're human, and allowing it to be in that space instead of having to judge it or shame it or react from it? What would happen if we could just let it go and let go of the cycle of suffering? So I really thought about that, and in terms of judgment of ourselves and others is really just a way in which we try to control a situation. So that kind of blew my mind. It's like when all else fails, I will judge myself to there is no judgment left in town. I will take it all because because that's the only thing I have in my control. So let's say someone dies, right? And we're grief-stricken and we're sad. Sometimes the only thing we can do, because we're so hurt, is to judge ourselves and to think about how we should have been different with this person, how we should have showed up differently, spent more time, and we start to blame ourselves for our imperfections. And it really creates more suffering. So it's like, why do we blame ourselves for our imperfections? And the truth is because we think we're under this idea, this belief that it's better for us to have a sense of control, even if it resorts in suffering, than to feel whatever it is, whatever energy is attached to that experience. We rather judge ourselves and create further suffering than having to actually feel that grief that's beneath it. And so when I learned that, I was just like, mind blown. Like, how can I let go of this control even more? So the Buddha talks about the middle way, and he talks about not acting from a particular experience, right? Not having to be so angry and being like, oh, I'm gonna tell that person that I really whatever. Or also not suppressing, so not acting from and not suppressing, because that's just a shoving something down, like, get out of here, I don't want to see you. It's still very much there. So how do we find the middle way? And the truth is, when we have an experience, instead of following into our perpetual cycle of, oh, I have to react from or suppress, this is bad, we say, oh, I'm suffering right now. Oh, I'm judging this experience. I'm judging myself. What is this experience like? And so you do a U-turn and you come back right where you are, and you engage with a sense of curiosity into what this human experience is like. So you're less identified with it and you're more open, and it creates a space where you can actually heal. So doing that sacred U-turn and coming back, and just knowing that it takes an intention and a deep commitment to this practice to want to practice forgiveness, to want to allow all of these imperfections that are here, that are a part of our humanness, to be there without judgment and without suffering. So having that intention is step one. And the second step is just like reminding yourself of that intention, whether it's when you wake up, just being like, I intend to forgive, I intend to be with myself, knowing that it's the wisest thing you can do, because literally blame and judgment produces nothing that is supportive, and forgiveness is the way that we can evolve and can ultimately change. So having the intention, and the second step is reminding yourself of the intention throughout the day, and pausing whenever those experiences come up where you feel like you're shaming yourself or you're angry, and to kind of do that U-turn and you're like, oh, what is this like right now? And the third is remembering that you're human and that this is a normal human experience and there's nothing wrong with it, and that you're not alone wherever you are, whatever it is that you're going through. Other people experience it too. And then I like to just kind of be kind to myself, and like it helps with the gesture of a hand to my heart, and just say, I intend to forgive, or I forgive this anger, I forgive this shame, I forgive this belief that's harmful, and I want to be with all of me. I deserve to be with all of me. And I can kind of ask, may I, if I don't really feel that flowing, ask for the willingness to forgive, the willingness to be with it all. And so that's a lot, right? Wrapped up in one little video, but all of it really just goes back into being a little more gentle and to honoring who you are and the fact that you're not alone in whatever you're experiencing. And it is such a subtle change. It's such a subtle progression and evolution that you may not think it's worth it, or you may not notice it, but it's the effort, however small, is making such a difference, and knowing that the relief that you can feel over time gets better and better, and you deserve that. So I hope you guys find that helpful. I also wanted to share just a few of my self-care tips that I like to do with the oils, like that really help me, show up and be present, and to be a little more kind to myself. Number one, sleep. You guys, get some sleep. Create a nighttime routine. Use the oils, diffuse frankincense, vetiver, serenity, all of them, and really allow your body time to prepare itself for rest. So sleep is number one, the foundation, the best meditation possible. Number two is I like to take cleansing ritual baths. So I use Epsom salt, and I'll use like lavender, and I will set the intention to allow this bath to cleanse me of anything that's keeping me from being at home with myself, and just feeling it wash over me. So Epsom salt, lavender, any of your favorite oils. The third thing I like to do is everything related to control is with the third chakra, so your solar plexus. So I like to apply bergamot or digestin, and just allow me to loosen this grip of control, this judgment. And as scary as it may be, it allows this energy to flow through, so you're no longer contracted, but you're open, and you can kind of release this primal energy and allow this creativity and life just to flow through you. And other things is cardamom is an awesome energetic oil, great for fears, opening your perspective. It's 10% off this month, so I already racked up for sure. But you can do it inside of your elbow creases whenever you feel stuck and you can't see outside of the small self, and to kind of allow this fluidity of the spirit to flow through you, and the energy to be less stagnant and to be more fluid. So cardamom. And the two other things are, number one, I'm doing my absolute favorite energy clearing protocol. It's called I Am Fabulous, and it is awesome. It changes the game for me every time I do it, every time I feel stuck and just remorseful and doubt, and all of that stuff. I'm like, let me bust out this protocol, and it's a quick vibrational shift using like the super powerful oils, super it changed me for sure. So I'm going to be doing that protocol this month at Romney, and it's also a make and take, so you're going to be able to make your own rollerball, release your fears or bye baggage, and take that home with you. And I'm also going to guide everyone in a full moon meditation to make sure we cover all of our bases. So that you can register in the link below. It's $35, but if you register by the 17th using IMFAB promo code, you'll get it for $30. And that is on Tuesday the 25th, I believe, 7:30. So please join me if you can. So special. The other thing is that if you don't have your own wholesale account, or you're like wanting to do the oils but kind of been hesitant, like now is the time. They have 20% off select enrollment kits. So basically you get set up with your own account, you get me as your guide, and you get a starter kit that's 20% off. So it's just another way to amp your self-care game. And just reach out to me directly if you have any questions, and I can set that up for you over the phone or in person. Let me know how I can help. Okay, you guys, off to yoga. Namaste.